Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. So first, to clarify, this doesn't include the multiplayer or the Spec Ops mode. Unfortunately, it's only the campaign. You can get it for $20 on battle.net, but if you never played Modern Warfare 2 before, the campaign is quite short. It's using the same engine as Modern Warfare Remastered, so the options menu is very similar, but I noticed less issues in general. This game seems to run better overall than the previous game, which is kinda weird. So in the options menu, I recommend avoiding the following options: fill remaining memory, then the shadow cache options, disable all of them, since those will use a lot of VRAM, and finally the super sampling option. It's a very strong anti-aliasing solution, so really I don't think it's worth it. Then on the texture resolution, I recommend using extra if you have 4 gigs of VRAM. If you have 2 gigs, use normal or low, just test it out. Then on the shadow options, again, do not enable the cache options. You can even turn off shadows if you want, the dynamic ones. The static shadows seem to be unchanged, no matter the setting. On lowering any of the shadow options, we have a noticeable impact in performance. Then in the post-process options, if you want better performance, lower screen space ambient occlusion. If you put it on the maximum, it will be HPAO+, which is a more demanding ambient occlusion solution. So going from that to high is already a noticeable improvement, but you can go lower if you want and even disable ambient occlusion altogether. Then if you don't want to do that drastic of a change, maybe disable medium distance ambient occlusion. And if you want to have a big performance difference, disable the depth pre-pass option. That'll turn off medium distance ambient occlusion and subsurface scattering. So yeah, you'll notice a graphical difference, but you have a big performance improvement again. So it's a recommended change, at least if you want higher frame rates. On the anti-aliasing options, we have the usual ones on Call of Duty games. We have a post-process anti-aliasing that goes from FXAA to SMAA, SMAA1X, or the T2X option. If you lower the post-process anti-aliasing to something like SMAA or FXAA, you should have a small improvement in performance, but the shimmering will be more noticeable, so maybe consider using SMAA1X or something like that, and if you can crank it up to T2X, it will be even better. And finally, the last thing for me to discuss in the options menu is the shader preload options. I recommend just enabling both of them. It'll make the loading times longer, and the cutscenes might stutter every now and then, but the game should have less hitches, so the performance should be more consistent. I think that's a good trade-off. The cutscenes are completely watchable, but again they might hitch sometimes. And when you run out of VRAM, you'll see that some textures won't load, so make sure to go from extra to high if you're noticing those textures not loading. But overall I had a very good experience, much better than on the previous remaster, which is good to see. Another important thing to mention is the system RAM usage. After finishing one mission and jumping straight into the next one, it already went over 8 GB, so my recommendation here is to have at least 12 GB, because the game sometimes went into the 9 GB range. I'm not sure if you can finish the game with 8 GB of system RAM, it's the minimum requirement, but what I'm trying to say here is that I saw more than 8 GB of usage very easily. And on the CPU side of things, as long as you have a modern quad-core CPU, you should easily hit 60 frames per second. But yeah guys, that's about it. I hope you keep enjoying the video, thanks for watching, and see you next time.
We're spotted. Ramirez, use your smoke grenade. Done, cover. Use the cover of the smoke to run past the BTR into the alley. Ramirez, come to the alley! Frag out! Target spotted by the dumpster!
I can't get a shot!
Incoming! Truck, 12 o'clock!
Со мной!
Противника! 2-1, requesting air support. Over.
Hunter 2-1, all air support is already engaged. Additional ground support is en route to your position, but has encountered heavy resistance. Over.
Roger that, Overlord. Be advised, we have encountered enemy armor and are proceeding on foot. Over.
Overlord copies all. Good luck. Out.
Hold your fire. Don't engage that BTR. They haven't acquired us. Hang right, stay behind it.
I got a visual on the smoke coming from the crash site. That's where Raptor went down.
We're spotted. Ramirez, use your smoke grenade. Done, cover him.
Use the cover of the smoke to run past the DDr into the alley.
He's in the open!
Ramirez, come to the alley.
Contact, 1 o'clock.
Incoming. Truck, 12 o'clock.
Что-то кого собой! Двигаться как в страде!
Yeah, I see him.
Не нравится мне! Противник на северо-востоке!
Team, let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Overlord, this is Hunter 2-1, requesting air support. Over.
Hunter 2-1, all air support is already engaged. Additional ground support is en route to your position, but has encountered heavy resistance. Over.
Roger that, Overlord. Be advised, we have encountered enemy armor and are proceeding on foot. Over.
Overlord copies all. Good luck. Out.
Hold your fire. Don't engage that BTR. They haven't acquired us. Hang right, stay behind it.
I got a visual on the smoke coming from the crash site. That's where Raptor went down.
We're spotted. Ramirez, use your smoke grenade. Jump, cover him.
Use the cover of the smoke to run past the BTR into the alley.
Target, 2 o'clock!
Roger that!
Вижу противника справа!
What's the status?
Still unconscious. You got a medic?
Corporal Dunn, check it out. What else?
We got a supply drop on the roof with an M5 sentry gun.
Ramirez, get to the roof and check out the supply drop.
Heads up, ladies. We got trucks to the south.